Okay, so first concept is what we called, let me take unit testing. So unit testing, I don't know why you make the unit testing big deal, but normally if you use already a repo, so for example, the repo we used, which is inside GS, if you go to inside GS, let's click on home, let's go to inside GS, click on that. If you go to package.json, which is here, you will search, do you have jest or not? Do we have jest or not? Can you search? Do we have jest or not? Yes, hello?
No. Yes. No.
How
Yes,
come
we
no?
have. Yes,
So if
we
you
have.
have, so if you have jest, and as you can see, we are using actually a node here. They are using just a node environment here. Don't worry about it. That means you don't need to do anything. So you don't need to install jest. It's already there. Everything is there in study licenses. When you open your script in study licenses, it's already there for you. It's installed for you. But in case it's not installed, so I'm gonna start from this project, which is empty project totally. Well, the first step, it would be a good idea to open the library we are using, which is called jest. So you can just open it just like that, clicky, and just open it
Really?
like that. Yeah, are you talking to me or to yourself? Okay, so let's go for the unit testing first, as I told you. Now, to install unit testing, of course, I need to install jest. But how can I install jest? I don't have package.json. So how can I create package.json? Can anyone tell me? I'm reviewing, guys, so you should know, but already. Yes.
NPM init?
Yeah, so I can use npm init. Of course, npm init, it will give me a few questions, so I don't want to answer this question. What's the name of the repo? What's the name of the script? What's the main file? I will just use the flag dash or minus y to say yes for all these questions. And if I click on it, and voila, as you can see, it create package.json for me, as you can see. That's okay. I've already created a package.json, which should be okay. Description here, I don't really need the description, but it's just automatically do it. That's fine. So now what I need to do, I need to install jest. So how can I install jest? Well, you can simply go to the library here and I say npm install. So I need to install it as a div dependency. Can anyone tell me why do I need to install it as a div dependency and not as a dependency? Why do I need to install jest as a div dependency?
Because we need it for develop our projects.
Indeed, we need it only during development to test our function. When we are done, when we push our code to production, we don't need it anymore. So it's not a dependency, it's actually dev dependency, only during the development. So what I can say, I can just say npm install -d, and -d is just like this one here. Instead of writing dash dash save dash div, I can just say minus capital D, and here it will install it as a dev dependency, and I can just say jest, voila. And now if I click on it, as you can see now, it will create a dev dependency object for me. And as you can see, dev dependency and have a jest, which is simple, right? Is it okay so far? Yes, no? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes.
Good. Now what I need to do here, I need to change my script here. So now when I run this script, I need to use npm run something. But here it will not work with this. So what I need to do, I need to say just jest like that. For now, I will just use jest only. Okay, that's fine. And you may tell me, how do you know? Well, how do I know if I go to the library? As you can see, it's just telling me add a test, and here just add jest. Okay, those are just some settings. I want to use export and import, which is ES6 syntax, not the old syntax. So in order to do so, I need to install a dependency here. And this dependency, as you can see, it's called npm -d. It's called at Babel npm I -d. And here it's at Babel plugin transform module command.js. Those are just some setting again. You don't need to worry about them. I'm using this plugin because I want to use export import. Export import is the new syntax here, starting that's what you call ES6. If I don't use this plugin, I need to import it the old way, which is say module.export, it's equal to sum. And then I say sum, it's equal to required. That's the old syntax. I don't want to use this one. So let's install also this one as a div dependency, it's just a plugin. And now here I need to create a file called .babel rc or babel rc, whatever you want to. And after that, I need to add some setting here. I don't remember the settings, so let's Google them here. So use export and import with just using Babel. Let's see, let's click on that. Yeah, so if I just Google this one here, it will tell me, well, so as you can see, it will tell you to install this plugin here, and it will tell you to create a file called babel.rc and add this one here. So I'm gonna just copy it. Voila. Again, you don't need to worry about that. Those are just some setting here. Now, if I add this setting and I install this package here, which is Babel plugin transform module.common.js, now I can use export and import. And I don't have to use this ugly syntax, which is actually before, that's what we called common.js. It's not like the more recent JS. So in Node, you can use model.export is equal to sum. And then after that, if you want to import it, you can import it this way, but I don't like to use it this way. Even in the backend, I don't use the syntax. I just use Babel here to use the new syntax. And after that, Babel, it will convert my code to ES5, and after that, it will work. That's fine. So I just add some setting, everything is fine. Now what I need to do, I need to create, of course, I need to create a file. Why I need to create a file? Because I need to write some of one function. And here I need to write a function. I need to think, what function do I need? Do you have any function in mind? We can test it. Any function in mind? Do you have any function? We can test it. Hello? No answer.
Like maybe filter from somewhere, but we don't have any array.
Yeah, but let's try
Maybe some function with method, maybe map or filter or something.
Okay, but let's create an array. For example, let's just say const, and here I will just say nums, which will be number. It will be array from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9. No, 9 and 10. Okay, that's my array simply. So what I want to do now, I want to create a function here. This is my array. I want to create a function, and this function I want to, for example, return only the even number. So the even number, let me add 0 as well. The even number, as you know, they are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's the even number here. So yeah, that's just my variable here. Let's create our function. So here I can say const. I can just say what name should I go to give my function a name? What good name it could be? Let's name it filter even. Filter even like that, and filter even, of course, it will be a function, as you know. Voila. Okay, now filter even, I'm expecting the filter even to take an array as a parameter, right? Because I want to filter an array. If I did not pass anything here, I will give it a default value, which is an empty array. Like that, I will not have any error. Is the idea clear? But if you don't tell me it's clear, I
Yes.
cannot move. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Good. Now what I want to do now is this function here. I want to create my function, and in my function, I will receive an array. And in this array, I want to only to return the even number, the odd, I don't want them. So how can I do that? Well, it's simple actually. What I can do, I can just, in one line, I can just say return. What's the name of my function here? ARR, and I say just dot filter. And dot, what is filter? Can anyone tell me what is filter? What is filter?
Method.
It's higher order method. Higher order method means, what does it mean? Higher order method means, 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 h What does higher order method means?
It takes function as a
Thank you. So it take a function as a parameter. The higher order method, it take a function as a parameter. So now here it will take one number, and after that, what it's going to do here? It will do something here. Now, what do I want? I want only the even number. So if I divide the number here, say num modulus 2, and it give me 0, that means the number will be even, right? And voila. Again, I'm taking my array and filtering it. As you know, the filter is higher order method. As the higher order method, as you know, it will take an array as a parameter. And I'm sorry, it will take a function as a parameter. As you can see here, that's my function. So what's my function is doing here? Well, it will go first through the first number here. And after that, it will say 0 modulus 2. And 0 modulus 2, it will give me 0. So because it will return, now it will keep the 0. After that, it will come to 1. 1 modulus 2 is not equal to 0, so it will not keep it. Then it comes to 2. 2 modulus 2, it's 0. So it will keep it. It comes to 3. 3 modulus 2 is not 0, it's 1. It will not keep it. Come to 4. 4 modulus 2, it's 0, so it will keep it. And so on and so on. And like that, I will have an array only with the even number. Is the idea clear? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes.
For everyone? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Good. So as you can see, I'm just passing my function directly. It's inline function and arrow function, as you can see. Okay, now I need to export my function. We study export, as you know. We have two types of export, either named export, so I can just come here and I say export like that. Okay, and here I need to create, of course, when I do that, let me create a new file again. What's the name of the file will be for my test? I'm just repeating, guys, you should be able to answer me. If I need to write some test, what will the name of the file will be?
Main.test.js.
Thank you. Voila. Now that testing. Now, if I want to import my function here, remember, my function I exported like name export. So if I want to import it here, what should I do? I say import. And after that? After
The
that,
function?
what is the name of the function was? Filter even, right?
Yeah.
Filter even. And should I put the filter even in between parentheses, or I'm sorry, between curly brace or not? Should I put the name of the function between a curly brace or not? It's the
Yes.
named export. Why? Why? Why, Agnieszka? Why should I put it between
Because the
curly
syntax
brace?
is like that.
No, because I'm using a named export. So I'm using name export. If I use the default export, I don't need to use it. Okay? So if I'm using it this way, and one of you asked me to review also the export and the import. So if I go to here, export and import, as you can see. So in export import, it's super simple. It's not that difficult, actually. All you have to do is that you're going to export like that. And if you do like that, you will just come here, say import this one from, and here you will add the relative path. What's the relative path? Where is my file exist? The main. The main is, my function is inside main. Where is the main? It will be dot slash, that means it's the same directory. And after that, the name of my file, it's main. I just need to add .js, and that's it. It should be quite simple, right? That's what we call named export. But because I'm going to export one function, I'm not going to use named export. I'm going to use default export. And to do default export, you have a shortcut, actually. exp, if you type in VS Code, exp, where's my shortcut? Should be here, actually. exp, export, but that's not what I want. Anyway, export default, and here it will be filter even, the name of my function. Now, if I export it as a default, I don't need this curly brace here. Okay, because I'm exporting only one thing from the file, so I don't need this curly brace here, just the name of my function, and that's it. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
import and export is clear for everyone? So you have just two ways, either named export. If you use named export, you need to put curly brace here. If you use default export like that, you just don't need to put it here. Voila. And remember, if you're using default export, you cannot export multiple stuff. You can export one thing. And that's the reason why I told you if you have a lot of function and you want to use default export, you can put them inside an object. And then here you can receive your object if you want to. Clear for everyone? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. If you remember also, I told you in package.json, we can add one property if I want to use the new syntax of export import. Can anyone remind me what's this property? What is this property?
Module.
No, type module. Type module, that means I am allowed to use export and import. Voila. Okay, now I've imported my function. I've wrote my function here, as you can see. I'm importing, actually, I don't need that. By the way, I don't need that. I can, because now I'm just exporting my function, I can write my test here, inside here. So I don't need this stuff here. I just need the function. Of course, I need to document my function, right? Do I need to document my function or not?
Yes.
Of course, I need to document my function. So I can use gsdoc, right? Clicky. And as you can see here, first I need to define what is my function doing? What my function is doing in simple
Filter
English.
is filter to filter
Filter,
even numbers.
even numbers. From an array, but anyway, it's obvious from an array. I don't have to do that, okay. And of course, I need to put a dot here so it doesn't give me anything. What's the parameter here? What's my parameter here?
Array.
Array. So what will be the type here? Can anyone tell me what the type it will be?
Object.
Okay. No, it's an array. Here, what will be the type of data? Any? Actually, it should be numbers because I'm filtering numbers, right? So I should write numbers like that. And Dinyando, you should be able to answer that. After that, what should I add? Numbers? Array like that. Voila. It just means array of numbers. Okay? Yes, no. So that means it will be an array, but here it will just be array of numbers because I am filtering array of numbers. If it's string, my array is string, I can just add string like that. If it's Boolean, I can just add Boolean like that. I mean, that's how GSDoc work if you go back to GS. But I want to filter numbers. But the question here, what if my array include different type? What should I add here? So let's say my array includes string, it include number, it include Boolean. What should I add here? Any idea? Yes, indeed. Any means that inside my array, I could have any types. So any means I could have numbers, I can have string, I have whatever. But in my case here, I have numbers. So I will just add numbers like that, numbers. So what's that supposed to mean? Well, it means I will take an array of numbers. That's a parameter, array of numbers. And of course, what is the name of the parameter? Well, the name of the parameter is ERR, and it's equal by default if an empty. What does it equal? What does it equal? The default value?
Empty array.
Empty array. So I will put the default value between, as you can see, square, square bracket here, as you can see. It's all the time square bracket. So I need to, that's in GSDoc because it's syntax for GSDoc. So I need square brackets, an array. What is the default value? Empty array, and we'll put it like that. And that's the array to filter. Array to filter. And that should be simple. Okay, what I am returning? Can anyone tell me what I am returning?
Filter array.
Yes, but what will be the type of data?
Numbers.
Indeed, it will be numbers, but I need to put array. So it will be array of numbers. Yes, because I'm filtering some numbers, but it will return me an array of numbers. So I'll put numbers, and please, that's my array. And here will be array. Here's a filtered array, or whatever you can name it here. The filtered array. That should be simple, right? Yes, no.
Yes.
So that's simply GSDoc, by the way. This is not Java. I mean, it's not the syntax I've explained. This is how we write GSDoc for your function. But before you did not deal with this array type here before. And now I'm telling you here, depend on your array. If your array is numbered, like in my case, you just put number and then array. That's mean array. Number and array, because it return array of numbers, the filter number. Okay, what if array here is string, you put string. What if it's Boolean, you put Boolean. What if it is, you don't know what it says, the data will be in your array, you just put any. And if you go back to GSDoc, actually, it will explain that in detail for you. So let's go to GSDoc. I'm not gonna explain a lot, but as I told you, if you go to GSDoc like that, and just start it with this one, clicky. Yeah, but I need more information here. I don't have a good information here. Can I search? Let's just say GSDoc with arrays. Let's see. GSDoc with arrays. It will be easy. Okay, tag GSDoc. How to document an array element. Let's click on it. Let's see if there's an example here. As you can see here, see? So as a param here, as you can see, it's a string, and here is they putting the array. So that means it will be an array of string. And you can see a lot of example here, as you can see. So you can just Google it, GSDoc with arrays or with object or whatever you want to, and it will show you the example. So that's simply how we write, how we document our function. It shouldn't, I know we didn't write a GSDoc for an array before, but that's the syntax, simply how to use it. Okay, that's fine. I wrote my function, I've exported. Now, what do I need to do? I need to write some test for my function, right? Yes? No.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what should I use?
Describe.
Describe.
Describe. And what does describe take? What does describe take? What does describe take as a parameter?
String.
String and callback function.
String, the first parameter is a string, the second parameter is a function. So the first parameter, I'm gonna add the first parameter, which will be string. For now, we'll add nothing. The second parameter is function. I'll make an arrow function, okay? That's my arrow function, voila. So that's the describe. Now here, I need to describe what my function is doing. What is my function is doing?
Filter even.
Okay, filter even numbers from an array, voila. That's my function is doing, okay. Now, if I go inside it now, I need to write my test. But how can I write my test? I'm not gonna use Copilot. I am going to go as I told you yesterday, I'm gonna write everything by hand. Okay, what should I do now? If I want to write my first test, what should I do?
Test.
Test. What does test take as a parameter? What does test take as a parameter? It's just like describe. It takes a string and
Function.
a function. So let me put my string like that. And second, I need to pass my function, which will be an arrow function. Same idea. Voila, like that. Describe and test, it's the same thing. Syntax is not that different. Now here, I want to test something. So let's pass first my array. And of course, I'm going to put it as this one here, be message. It will show me. So if I filter 0 and 1, for example, what do you expect it will give me? If I'm using my function, which is filter number, and I pass an array 0 and 1, what do you think it will give me?
0.
0. So it will give me an array. Inside this array, I have 0. That's what I'm expecting, right? If my function is correct. And after that, I need to use expect. And can anyone tell me what expect is doing? Or what should I do now with expect? What should I pass to expect?
To equal.
Yes, after to equal, which you are right, absolutely. To equal. Now here to equal, I will just put is what I'm expecting, which will be 0. That's absolutely correct. But now I need to do something in expect. I need to pass something here. Can anyone tell me what it should be? What should I put here?
One,
Function.
0 and 1? No?
No, I need to put,
The name of the function.
no, I need to call my function here because I need the result, not the name of my function. So I'll put my function like that, and I will call my function, and I will pass an array with 0, 1. Voila. Why? Because here when I call my function and I pass 0 and 1, it will return what? It will return an array inside it 0. And then I will say I'm expecting array inside it 0 to equal array inside it 0. Otherwise, I will not pass the test, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how can I run my test? I want to test this, the first test. What should I do? Well, I will go to package.json. What should I run now? I'm inside the script. What should I run? npm? Guys, what's wrong with you? npm
Run test.
run test. It's not difficult. And voila, as you can see, and now I pass my test. So as you can see, if I pass now to my function an array 0, 1, and here it should give me 0, and I am passing this 1. How many suit do I have? Well, I have one suit, which is one describe. How many tests I have? I have one test, and I'm passing. Okay, now I don't like this way. I want to see more like a table with more information. It will be nicer. So I will go to my gist, and I should add what's flag I should add. What is the flag we should add? You forget everything.
Coverage.
Yes, dash, 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 coverage. Voila. If I add dash, dash, coverage, and then I write my test again, it will give me just some little bit something different, which will be like a table, which I like, as you can see. So I did not test all the branches because simply I don't have a gate. He doesn't know. I don't have a gate repo. He doesn't know that I have different branches, but I've tested all the statement, all the function, all the line, and everything should be fine. Is the idea clear? Now I need to write a second test. Can you give me any other test? So all I need to do now, I need to copy and paste. Simple. And here I will change this array. What if I pass 2, 3, and 4, for example? What do you think it will give me?
2 and 4.
So it should give me 2 and 4. And here in my function, I need to pass 3 numbers, which will be 2, 3, and 4. And it should give me 2 and 4. Let's run our test again and see if that will work or not. I should run npm run test again, and voila, as you can see, it works as well. And now let's test our default parameter here. What is my default parameter here if I don't pass anything to my function?
Empty array.
Yes, indeed. So default parameter, that means it will be an empty array. If I pass nothing to my function here, it will be an empty array. And if I filter an empty array, it should give me
An empty
that should
array.
give, of course, it should give me an empty array. Voila. And now let's try to run this test again. And voila, default parameters pass. And now you can write many different tests, as I said. If you want more ideas, you can just copy, for example, this test. But don't get used to this one because it's bad idea. As a junior developer, as just the learner, you need to write your test by yourself. But later on, when you get familiar with this, when you know how to test everything, you can go just to ChatGPT and you can say, can you write more tests for my function? And here you can paste your test like that. And as you can see now, it will add more tests for you, as you can see. Cool. And now here, if I copy this test again, and now I go. Of course, I am telling you again, you need to know how to write your test by hand, just like I did. But this ChatGPT, it will just help you to write more tests like that. I use it because I know I know how to write a test. But because now it's a repetitive task, I don't want to waste my time on it. As you can see here, now I'm passing an object, an object, an object, and here it should give me a, it's equal to 2. Why? Well, I don't know if my function, it will be able to test all of those or not. But what I know is, as you can see, they are passing a not number as a string here. And actually, that's not what I want to truly. Because my function, I told you, it should take array of numbers, not array of string, or not array of object. It should be only array of numbers, right? Shouldn't be null and undefined. But let's run our test and see what's the problem. Click. And as you can see, not all tests passed. Actually, I have 4 tests that failed. Why? This one with the array, this one with object, and inside the object here, it failed. What else? This one here with the string, it failed. What else? To equal 2.6. This one here with 2.6 here, it should give you 2.6. It's not an integer, so it should fail as well. It's a float, it's failing. And as you can see, decimal number, mixed array, array with object, array with undefined and null, all of them are failing. So it's actually, I should not cover this one. So what I can do, maybe I can go to my function here again, and I can make sure that the type of num here is a number. If it's not a number, maybe I can throw an error. What do you think? Yes or
Yes.
no? So what I can do here when I'm passing, when I'm filtering everything, or before even I filter everything, let's just do this one. I can now loop, say, use for each, go through each item in the array, in my array, and see if any one of them's type is not a number, then I can throw an error. Is it possible to do so or not?
It is possible.
Of course it's possible. I can just say ARR dot for each, for example, and for each, as you know, what is for each? Can anyone tell me what's for each? What is for each? What is filter? What is for each?
Higher order function.
Higher order function. Guys, you don't need to think about this stuff. I've repeated a million times. So higher order functions, that means you take a function as a parameter. And here I can have num. And now you may tell me, but I've already used num. Yeah, it's okay. Why? Because this one num inside one function and this num inside another function. It's fine. And here I can just say if type of num, if type of num is not equal to, not equal, but not equal to. Why is not equal? Not equal to number. What should I do?
Throw an error.
Yes, I can throw new an error and I say invalid input, for example, like that. And voila. And now here I need to go to my test here. And I told you if we are dealing with error, I'm expecting all of this to be an error. If I'm dealing with error, I should put my function inside another function, right? Yes, no. So this one here, I should put it inside another function. So I can cut it and I can make an arrow function like that. And then I pass it. Voila. So I need to put an arrow function. It just, because it's one line, I don't need to put the body of the function. So I'm just putting it inside another function, as you can see. Same idea. Here I can just put it like that. And I just add parentheses and arrow. It will work. Same idea here, because I'm expecting all of that to give me an error. And same here. And of course, I need to change the matcher, right? What is a matcher for error? Can anyone remind me? What is the
To
matcher
throw.
for error?
To throw.
Yes. To throw. I'm going to change this one as well to throw. This one to throw. And this one else to throw. And here to throw what? Just an error. I can just type here to throw an error. Decimal here. So it will not give me, of course, an array. It will just give me error. And here I can pass whatever I want to, but I will just want to pass error. Just like that. And I can copy this one and do the same here. I need to remove this one. Same idea here. I need to remove this one. And here also it will throw an error. Can anyone tell me why it will throw error here? Can anyone tell me why it will throw an error here? Here we know it's string, here we know it's an object, here which is null and undefined. But why it will throw an error here? Let's try to run our test and see. So if I run our test, I have one failing test. So all my tests pass, as you can see, except the decimal number. Can anyone tell me why it's not working with decimal number? Why it's not throwing an error? Guys, it's not that difficult. Why it's throwing an error? I'm
Yes.
sorry, why it's not throwing an error? It's why it's not throwing an error.
Because decimal numbers are still numbers, but they are not even.
Indeed. So the decimal in JavaScript, I told you, we just have numbers. It doesn't matter if they are integers. It doesn't matter if they are float. So float, that means they have dot on it. So it doesn't matter. So here, if I pass 1.5, 0.2, 0.3, 0.3, 0.7, I need to find a way now. It's a number as well, so I need to find another way. Can anyone tell me how could I do it in many different ways?
It
Do
won't
I
be
have
just
any
empty
function?
array? Just empty
No.
array? No?
Do I have in JavaScript something to check if it's integer or not? Let's search. Do we have in JavaScript? JavaScript. A method is integer or not? Let's see. Number is integer, so I can use this method as well. So what I can do, I can check if the number is integer or not. So I can add another condition, and if the number is not integer, then I can throw an error. So let's use this one here. Let's go back to our function. Now here I'm saying if the type of num is not a number, and I can say or, right? Or number dot is integer, like that, num. So if the number is integer, it will return true. I want if the number is not integer, so I can just add not. So here what I'm checking, if the number is not integer, okay, that means if it's integer, return true. If it's not integer, return false. Not false, it will be true, and then it will be executed. So here now I add another condition, which is if the type of num is not a number or the number is not integer. So if my number is not integer, it will now throw an error. Let's go and test our function again. And I will go back if you have any question. As you can see, click. And as you can see, I'm passing all the tests here. Did you understand this syntax? Did you understand this syntax? Number is integer or not? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Are you sure? So it's very simple. Number is integer. If you pass a number, if you pass 1 here, it will return true. If you pass 1.1 here, it will return false. And I want it, if it's not integer, I want it to throw an error. So not false, it will be true, and it will throw an error. Simply like that. Or you can use something else. If you don't like this syntax, you can use this one here like that. Is strictly equal to false. That means the number is not integer. That you can write this one, but that's a very ugly syntax. The better syntax than this one is just say, if number is not integer, just add not operator, which is much better and much readable. So if the number is not integer, throw an error, and voila, and my function, as you can see, passing all the tests. And now it's a good function. And as you can see now, while I'm testing, before I didn't have this one in my function, Because when I didn't test it, when I tested, I realized that I have some problem with my function. And then I'm start to check if the type of each item inside the array is number. And then when I try it with decimal numbers, I realize I still have a problem. I need to check that the number is integer or not. And as you can see, writing test actually helped me to write a better function. Is the idea clear now? Do you know how to now use unit testing? Yes, no. Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
For everyone, it's clear. Yes.
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 Good. 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 And simply that's how we write function, and that's how we write unit testing. Try from the beginning to write your own unit testing, and only do not cheat yourself again. Now I know I use ChatGPT to write some tests because I already know how to write them. They're just waste of my time. But for you, you need to learn how to write them first. Then after that, you can use ChatGPT. Okay, that's fine. We finish with the unit testing. Click here. Util function, export and import. I explained it already. So it should be simple. Array method. Now let's put the util function at the bottom. Here, let's go here. So what the hell are array method? Well, as you know, if I have any array, so let's say const nums, it's equal to array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That should be okay. Now, as I told you, the array has a lot of method on it. It has a lot of function on it. Well, we don't call them function, but we call them method anyway. They're very useful. For example, if I want to filter this array, I have a method called filter. If I want to loop through each item inside the array, I can use for loop, or I can use for each, and so on and so on and so on. And you may tell me, how could I know all these array method? Well, from practice, so from using them, or you can go to the documentation and click, that's not what I want to, that's not what I want to anymore. And you can just say, for example, here, array methods. If you click on this one and click on this one, as you can see, that's all the array method here, as you can see. Why is not clicking? So I have array.add. I have entry, every, filter, find, flat, blah, blah. So you have all these methods that are already built for you. They're built in JavaScript. You don't have to do anything about them. All you have to do just to know how to use them. Okay, there are some methods we use a lot, and there are some of them we don't use a lot. For example, here, every, we don't use it that much. Filter, we use it a lot. Find, we use it a lot. For each, we use it a lot. Is array here, we can check if it's array or not. Array.is array, just like number.is integer. We can use this method to check if something is array or not. And so on and so on and so on. At reduce, we use sometime pop to just remove the last item, push to as the last item, and sort, we use it, slice, we have splice, we have a lot of method. Now, at any point, if you are not sure what to do or what the method is doing, you just gonna click, come to the documentation, and then read it here. What is push is doing? It's method of array. Okay, what is doing here? It's add the specific number to the end of the array. And here you have some examples showing you how to do. For example, I have animals, pigs, goats, sheep. And if I say animals, that's my array dot push. Cows, where it adds the cows? Well, as you can see, it adds the cows at the end. And voila, as you can see. And here you have the syntax. So what parameter does it take? Well, it takes either one element or many elements. By the way, you can pass not just to push one element, you can pass multiple elements if you want to, but it should be separated by comma. What does it return? Well, it returns the new links. So that means when I push something, the push here was the method, what it will return? What it will return means the new links of the array. But most of the time, I don't need to save the links here. I just use push to add the number, and that's it. And as you can see, it gives you a lot of example, blah, 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 blah. Now we study some of them, and I will just go quickly through some of them. So first, let's go to filter. We already see filter. I know we already see for each. Can you give me another method? So filter for each, maybe find. So what is find? Now filter find for each, all of that, the higher order method. Can anyone tell me what is higher order method again? What is a higher order method?
It takes a function as a parameter.
Indeed. So a higher order method, of course, if you are not sure about anyone, for example, is it higher order method or not, you can go to the documentation. Our VS Code will help you. For example, if I say nums dot find like that, and I click on this one, notice what it gave me here. So find, as you can see, it's just predicate. Predicate, that means it take a function which has no name. I think Ivan just told you what's the predicate here. So what predicate, that means it take a function which has no name. So I can use either normal function or I can use an arrow function here. So this one, what does it take? Well, it will take a function as a parameter. What does it return? Well, it return either a number or whatever. It could return anything. It depends on what I'm looking for. It could return a number, or it could return, if it did not find anything, it will return undefined. And you can read some description here. Find a call predicate once for each element. So that means for each element, it will run this function here of the array in ascending order. So let's go here from this one, from the smallest here. It will go here, then check this one, check this one, check this one, check this one, until it finds a specific number. And when it finds a specific number or string or whatever I'm looking for, it will return it. And that's the reason why it's called you here. It could be any, it could be number, it could be undefined. In my example here, because I am using an array of numbers, either it will return me a number or it will return, if it does not find any number, what does it will return?
Undefined.
Undefined.
Undefined, and that's what it means. And of course, you can go through it here. You can click here and it will give you more information like that. But find, or you can go just to the documentation and search for find. Where is find? Find. If I look for find, click. And now here's the find method of the array that returns the first element in the provided array that satisfies the condition or the testing. Okay, that's fine. It gives you a lot of explanation, but as you can see, it gives me an example here. So this documentation all the time give you an example. And as you can see, it pass an arrow functions. That means I know it's higher order method. And also, if I go to the syntax, find callback. Callback means that it's a higher order method because I am passing a function. Parameter callback function, as you can see. And also, it could take more parameter, by the way. It could take a callback function. And here, when I pass a callback function here, or for inside the callback function, I could get the element. If I need the index, I can pass the index as well. And what does it return? Oh, the first element. If it does not find anything, it will return undefined. Voila, should be simple now. So find here, as you can see, it will take a function as a parameter. So I will use arrow function, and here I will take num. And here, what is my condition? Well, I want num to be greater than 100. Okay, I want num to be greater than 100. Do I have any number? So what JavaScript is going to do, now it will go through each item here and it will test it until it finds it. It will try it with 1. Is 1 greater than 100? Of course not. 2, no. 3, no. 4, no. 5, no. 6, no. 7, no. 8, no. 9, no. 10, no. Then after that, it will return me undefined. And I can save, if I want to save as a return value, I can just say const result, for example, it's equal to something like that. But the result here, it will be simply undefined. Okay, fine. Now here, what if I want the index? Well, I can get the index as well. So I can get the index if I want to. You may tell me, how could I know I can have an index here or not? Well, if you go back to the documentation, they are telling you here, your callback function can receive the element, the index, and even the array if you want to. But most of the time, we need the element, and sometimes we need the index. So here it tells you what parameter you can have inside your callback function, as you can see, and what return. So it gives you detailed information about this method. Of course, I don't need the index. I just want to show you, so I'm going to remove this one. Now there is no satisfaction as you can see. Now if I want my number to be greater than, let's say, greater than 8, for example. Which number is greater than 8? Which number greater than 8 here?
9.
9 and 10.
Only 9?
9 and 10.
9 and 10, but which one it will give me?
9,
Why?
because
Will-
it will give only one number.
Exactly, so it will do it this way. It will test it against this one. No, this one, 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 yes. And then it will return it. If this one not satisfied, then it will go to the other one. But what find is doing, it will find the first item that satisfies the condition. And that's the reason why we are it's telling you it returns the first item. So it will return me 9. And that's the reason why it's telling you here, it will return the first element that provide the satisfaction of the test function. That means if the first item just pass this condition, it will return it. And in my case, it's 9. If I don't have 9, of course, it will give me 10. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Yes. So that's how we use array method. Array method is not that difficult again. It's just you cannot remember all of them, and that's normal. I don't remember all of them. Some of them I need to go over them. That's okay. But whenever you are using one of the array method, you need to know what this one is returning. And as I told you, your VS Code here, your VS Code is going to help you a lot. So for example, if I say nums dot, as you can see, I have all these methods I can say for each, and I can read the description what it's doing here. Now, here it could notice here it will return undefined here. Sometimes this description for VS Code is not super clear, but if you read it here, you may not understand anything. But in this case, you can go to the documentation. And of course, if I click on this one here, as you can see, if it's in num.length, it's a property. So it gives me the length of the array. Join here, it will join all my element together here. So the index here. Okay, now VS Code will help you to know what the method you have. And in any case, if you are in doubt with any of these methods, you can just go to the documentation and read it to know, is it higher order method or not? What parameter it will take? What can I receive inside my the function, the predicate function I'm passing? Is it take only the element, or I can take the index if I need it? And that's the way how we improve our array method. Is the idea clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
For everyone. So there is no escape. You need all the time to go back to the documentation. As a documentation, not something scary, by the way. No, it's fun, actually. Click on it. You don't know how to use it. It will show you everything here. Okay, here, it told you it take a callback. That means it is higher order method. Inside of my callback, what could I have? Well, I could have the element, I could have the index, I could have the array. Most of the time, we use the element. And in some case, maybe I need the index. It depends on your function. What does it return? True or false? So now I know it return true or false. We studied before, and you know already take true or false. And you have some examples here. Voila. Is the idea clear, guys? I think now array method should be clear 100% if I'm not mistaken. Callback. Well, the callback is super simple. They are even simpler. So to make it simple, I will take any array method here. Again, let's make it a little bit simple. So what I can do here, I can write a function which is say const. Do you have any function in mind? I would say just print text. Now I'm saying this is a function, as you can see. It will be an arrow function, as you can see, and voila. Now I will need to tell this one here, this is a callback function. So here I can just say CB, that means callback function here. So now my function here, it expect to take a function as a parameter. And what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to do anything actually. I'm just going to execute the function inside it. Voila. So it should be very simple like that. Okay, but I don't have CB function, right? I need to write it first, right? So I can just say const CB it's equal to, I will make it an arrow function as well. And all this function is doing here is logging hello world, as you can see. So I can just say log hello world. So as you can see, I have a function and I have another function. Now in this function, I'm telling you, this function, it will take as a parameter, it will take a callback function. So it will take a function. And inside, because it's like a function, I will receive these functions and I can execute it because it's a function. Simply like that. And now if I'm trying to execute my original function, which will be print text, I need now to pass my function because why? Let me cut this one. And now my function, I'm saying here, okay, this function, I need to pass a function as a parameter. And when I receive it, I just execute it. So when I call, that's of course the function definition. Here it's function definition. And here it will be calling the function. Call function. Okay, I'm telling here JavaScript, okay, that's my function. It's called print with lowercase p, print text. And print text, when someone calls this function, it need to pass a function as a parameter. Well, I have two possibilities. Either I can pass my function directly here, which is not a good option actually, because if I do so, I need to remove this one here. It will not accept it. I need to make like an arrow function. I can directly pass it this way if I want. Voila. It will work. So now I'm saying print text, that's a function, and I'm passing the function directly inside it here, as you can see. And now what it's going to do? Well, it receives this function and it will gonna execute it. Simple. Let's go now to our live server. And now it should print just hello world. And voila, as you can see. Clicky, it look like Chrome, they're changing this stuff, but anyway. So hello world, as you can see. Why do I need to pass my function here? Well, it's simple because when I created this function, I am telling JavaScript that I'm gonna pass a function. And this function, we call it a callback. If you don't like this syntax this way, there is another way. What is the other way? Well, the other way is simply here. I can create my function here. I can just say const cb, it's equal to, and here it will be an arrow function, and I can just log, for example, hello world. Voila. Now, because I write my function, I will save it in a variable. Or I can just pass it here, the name of the variable, and voila. And that's what we call callback function, as you can see. Is the idea clear of callback function? Is the idea clear or not
Yes.
for everyone?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, we are using a lot of callback function. For example, in my array, if I say const nums, it's equal to 1, 2, 3 for now. I don't want all of that, just 1, 2, 3 I want. And now here, if I want to map through them, I say nums dot map. And map here, it expects a callback function. So here, either I can put my function inside the variable, save it in a variable. I say, for example, const callback function like that, const cb, and I can write my function as I want to. As you can see like that, I can just say num. So my function take num as a parameter. And what it's doing here, it just multiply num by 10. But that's here really not necessary here. Or I can write my function directly here. Instead of doing that, it will be simple for me. I can just type num, and here num multiplied by 3. It's very simple this way. So I'm passing my callback directly here, as you can see. This one is a callback, by the way. So that's a callback. It's just with passing a function to another function or a function to another method. Is the idea clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
Good. That's simply what you call callback function. Yeah, switch statement. So switch statement is just alternative for if, else, if, else. Let's click on this one. Let's click on this one. Let's click on this one. Okay, so let's try switch statement here. Let's go here. So let's say, for example, const fruit. Fruit. So you like fruit, right? Let's say if my fruit is banana. Is banana correct? No, banana is not correct. Banana actually should be is P. Now it's correct. So I have banana. Now what I need to do here, I can just say if fruit is strictly equal to apple, what should I do? For example, I can just console.log. I can log apple, for example. Well, now if I have another condition, I can add else if, of course, you know this one, right? Else if the fruit is equal to, what other fruit do we have?
Orange.
Mango.
Orange. Orange like that, orange. If it's orange, we will log, for example, log orange, for example, orange. Yeah, but it's console.log actually. Why this one did not work? Console.log orange. It does not work because I have a mistake error here. Okay, now that should work. Good. Now I can add another else if I want to, else if, and here you say mango, for example, fruit. If the fruit is strictly equal to mango, and in mango here, for example, I will log mango, for example. Voila. That should be fine. Now, if it's not all of those, what should I log here? I say I can use else and I can console.log. I don't know. Of course, I need to add banana, to be honest. So let me add banana as well. So it will be a little bit logic here, else if fruit is equal to banana, because I need to include the banana as well. Like that, I wrote banana, it's okay. And now here I can log banana. Now, if I want to, I can use this way. That's fine. And now, of course, if I run my code because the fruit is banana, what it will log? Will it log orange or mango or banana or I don't know?
Banana.
Banana.
Of course, to return banana. If I go back to my live server here and I close this one and I close this one, open my DevTools, and of course, as you can see, it logged banana, which it should be no something normal. That's if statement. Now, if I don't like the if statement, I can use switch statement. It's simply the same idea exactly. But switch statement, if I have a lot of condition, it will be a little bit nicer. So how can I use switch statement? Well, if you just click here, switch, by the way, it will give you the syntax already. So your VS Code is smart. It will give you this one, but I'm gonna write everything with my hand. Switch, like that. And in the switch, I need to pass my variable. What is my variable? What is my variable?
Fruit.
Fruit. So I'm going to put fruit here. And here, after that, I need to put curly brace like that. Voila. Now here, I can have different cases. So what I can say case. And as you can see here, case, if you look at this way, if the case is, what's the first one? It's up, right? If it's up like that, here I will just put colon, 2 point, and here I just need to put log apple, and I need to use break here. If I don't use break, it will go to the other case. That's not what I want to. And remember the indentation here. The indentation here is very important, okay? It's just like Python. If you are using Python, the indentation with switch statement is very important. It cannot be here. It must be here, like that. And now I can add the case 2. So what's the case 2? Well, it could be, what was the case 2? It was orange, right? So I can just say
Yes.
orange. And here I can just need to put this one, which is colon. And here it's already indented for me. So I can log console.log. And here I can log orange, for example. But this one here, actually, it's not log, it's console.log. Thank you for telling me. Orange. Where the hell is orange? Voila. Maybe I can make all of them lowercase. Like that, we don't have any problem. And I'll make this banana also lowercase. Okay. Now, do I have any other case? So I have apple, I have orange, I have another case which is mango, right? Well, I can create another case, right? But I need to add something here before the case, which is,
Break.
yeah, what if I don't use break, what will happen?
You will go to the second and the next one.
Yes, it will excuse this one and go to the next one. Exactly, that's not what I want to. The other case, it's mango, so let's say case, and here mango. And here I need to put colon because that's the syntax is like that. And then here, of course, I will log mango and I need to use break. Now it should be simple, okay? Now I have case banana. I can do the same idea and here banana. Now, if it is not apple, if it's not orange, if it's not mango, if it's banana, I need to say I don't know. Of course, in switch statement, we have something like that. And that's what we call default like that. So default mean it's just like else. That means if it's not banana orange, if it's not the apple, if it's not mango, if it's not banana, it will go to the default. On console.log, I don't know, and I can use break. Here, if you want, you can ignore the break because I don't have anything after this one, but it's good practice always to use the break statement. So this one here, it will not affect. Why? Because I don't have any code after this one, but it's good practice always to use break. Fine. So this one and this one are the same exactly as you can see. Else and default case, it's the same exactly. The indentation is important, and that's the case, voila. Which way do you prefer? It's totally up to you. For me, if I have a lot of condition, I think this one is maybe a little bit more readable. If I have fewer condition, I think this one is more readable, but it's really just two different ways. So this case and this case is exactly the same. Is the idea clear? And as you can see here, it gave me banana, banana. And if I switch this one to something like gibberish, it will give me, I don't know, both of them, you say, I don't know. And if I, for example, change it to apple, and both of them, it will give me apple. And now if I go, both of them give me apple, and so on and so on and so on. So it's this in, it's just two different syntax for the same way as I told you. Is the switch statement is clear now?
Yes.
Perfectly clear for everyone?
Yes.
Good. What else do I have? Switch statement, ternary operator is super simple. I'll finish ternary operator and we can take short break. So what is ternary operator? Let me go here. Let's say I have sometimes we have two cases. For example, yes and no, right? For example, I would say if you are more than 18, you can drive. If you are not more than, I'm sorry, if you are not more than 18, you cannot drive. If you are more than 18, you can drink, for example. If you are not more than 18, you cannot drink, right? So how,
Yes.
let's say, here I have something called age. So for example, I would say age is equal to 12. And of course, I need to use const or let, of course, it's .u, but I'm not planning to change the age, so I'm going to use const. Now here I can just say if age is greater than 18 or greater or equal, by the way. Most I think it will work. Because I think if you are 18, you are allowed to drive, or it doesn't matter anyway. And here I can just log, you are an adult, for example. I will just write this message. Else you are not adult. Here you are a child, for example, or not adult, whatever. I can write this syntax in one line of code if I want to. How? Well, it's quite simple. Using ternary operator, I can put my condition age is greater or equal to 18. That is my condition, right? That's my condition here. And here I can just like ask a question. And here, if this one here, if it's true, the first part, it will be executed. So I can just take this one, copy it, paste it here, and separate it by colon. And I take the second part here, and simply do it here. Voila. Voila. This one and this one, it's exactly the same. Here it checks the condition. If the condition is true, this part, it will be executed. If it is false, this part, it will be executed. Simple. Yes, no. That's ternary operator. Simply.
Yes, Samir, the ternary operator is only for if statement.
It's not about, yeah, it's about condition. When I check in condition, yes.
Okay.
So when I'm checking a condition, if this condition is true, it will give me this part. If this condition is false, it will give me this part. Simply like that. And of course, now for me, this code here, it's much better than this one. You tell me why? Because it's one line of code and it's easy to read. I'm just asking a question, is age greater or equal to 18? Well, if it's true, then this one, it will be executed. If not, then this one will be executed. And now if I go to my console here, and as you can see, same idea, you are a child. They are doing the same job now. If I make it, for example, 20, both of them say you are adult now. Oh, you are adult. Voila.
Because if you have another condition, like for example, you are less than 2, so you are a baby, you cannot use this. It's only
Yes,
if yes or not.
No, I can.
Okay.
Let's check it.
Okay.
Let's check it. Here I can just see. Else if age, I can need to put my condition, age is greater or equal to 12, for example, and I say you are a child, teenager. Yeah, teenager is good actually. Look, you are teenager. Yeah. So as you can see now here, I have 3 conditions. Well, with ternary operators, it's also I can do that. How? Well, I can say if the age is greater or equal to 18. Okay, now if it's true, what do I want to log? I want to log this part, right? Yes, no?
Yes. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be question mark.
Yeah, question mark, you're right. Question mark. So if it's true, I want here, if it's true, I want to log this one. But what if it's not true? Well, I can add another condition. I can then say age is greater or equal to how much I said? 12. And here I can put another question mark. And here what is going to do, so if it's true, this one, it will be executed and it will be finished. But if this one is not true, it will go and evaluate the second condition, which age is greater or equal to 12. Now, if is age greater or equal to 12, now it will execute this part. If not, it will execute the other part, which is your child. And voila. And you can write it this way if you want to, on multiple lines. So you can use it a lot. You can use you can nest inside each other, but I don't recommend this one. More than 2 conditions, don't use a ternary operator because it will be difficult to read. So if you have this one, it's fine. So I'm just checking if age is greater than 18. If yes, then this one it will be executed. If not, then it will go to this condition. It will validate this condition. What is this condition? Age greater or equal to 12. It is greater or equal to 12, for example. If it's greater or equal to 12, then this part it will be executed. If not, this part it will be executed. You got the idea, Agnieszka?
Yes, thank you.
So I can add more condition if I want to. Yes.
And also we can make it more complicated by adding extra condition like
Here.
include and or operator.
You can make it as complex as you want to, but again, my advice for you, try to make this one lean, simple as possible, because now here, if I came here and I add another condition and then I have to, it will be difficult to read. In this case, I prefer using if else, it's more readable. But of course, you can make this one as complex as you want to, by the way. I can now here add another condition if I want to. And then I will have 2 options after that. But try not to make it that complex. Only try to use it when you have 2 conditions, no more than 2 conditions. It will be difficult to read after that. Is it okay? Clear for everyone? Okay, good. Let me test this one just for you. So let's say I'm saying if it's 12, let's write 12. And of course, now if 12, you see you are teenager, both of them give me you are teenager. If let's say it's not 12, it's 5, it should write now you are a child. And both of them write you are a child. Okay, should be good now. What else do we have? Ternary operators finished. Now I have random numbers. I think we talk about it a little bit about math. the math class or the math object I explained yesterday, but should be fine. Util function I'll explain. Deep copy and shallow copy, that's simple. Let's take a short break because I've talked too much. And after that, we will become incomplete. Okay, for arithmetic operation precedent, again, if you just copy this one, by the way, it's not programming. This one is just math. If I click on here and click on here, and I say in JavaScript, which is the same in any programming language, you can go here and you should have a table. And this table, it show you all, as you can see, all the operation like that. And they're very complex. So I don't think it's a good idea to use this one. I will just give you something very simpler, which should be much simpler for you. Okay. So for arithmetic operation precedent, I told you what will be the first arithmetic operation we are using. Can anyone tell me?
Subtraction.
No.
No.
Subtraction is the higher precedent? Or is the lower?
Division.
No.
Parentheses.
Yes.
Parentheses. Bracket.
So parentheses. So one here, it should be parentheses. Shouldn't make it as a comment, sorry. So the first one here, it should be parentheses. As you can see, and parentheses here. It will be the highest order here, precedent to here. After the parentheses, what do we have?
The exponentiation.
Yes, so 2 exponentiation plus, which we use multiply or asterisk for exponentiation. If you remember, if I say 2 exponentiation of the power of 3, that means I want to multiply 2 by itself 3 times. 2 multiplied by 2, it's 4, multiplied by 2, it's 8. So that's the exponentiation. Okay, after that, we have multiplication, division, and modulus, all 3. No, it's not just division. So 3, it's just multiplication. 3, multiplication, division, and also modulus. And modulus. Modulo. So all 3, they have the same precedent. And after that, we have, of course, the addition and the subtraction. So first, what JavaScript is coming, actually it's in math, not in JavaScript. So everything between the parentheses, it will be evaluated first. After that, if I have exponentiation, it will be evaluated. Then if I have multiplication and division and modulus, they will be executed. Then addition and subtraction. And you may tell me, okay, if I have, for example, multiplication and division, and both of them, they have the same precedent, which one will happen first? Well, it's simple. The one in the left, it will happen first here. So left to right. Same idea here, left to right. What do I mean by that? So let's take an expression here. I can just say cos x, for example, it's equal to. Now, if I say 10 plus 3 divided by 2, exponentiation 2, and then multiplication 3. What do you think the result will be here? Can anyone analyze the result for me? Hello? Are you sleeping? Guys, what's the problem with you?
We are calculated.
We are thinking.
You don't need to think. The order is here. I mean, you just have to look. There's no thinking needed here. The order is here. Just look at the order. Do we have parentheses?
Oh,
No.
No.
So in the second one, exponentiation. Do we have exponentiation?
Yes.
yeah.
Then means this one is happened first then. So it will be like that. So it will be 10 plus 3 divided by, now what's the exponential? 2 exponent 2. That means I will multiply 2 by itself 2 times. 2 multiplied by 2, it's 4. Now it will give me 4 multiplied by 3. Okay, and after that, what I will have? Well, as you can see here, after this is gone, now I have division and I have multiplication. Which one has more precedent? Division or multiplication?
Multiplication.
No.
It's the same.
Multiplication, division, and modules, they have the same precedent. They have the same level
13 by-
exactly.
13 by 12.
Both of them, they have the same precedent. So I will go from the left to the right here. Come left, 10 plus 3 divided. So division come first. So I will divide it first because this one come first and then this one come later. But the division and multiplication and modules, they have the same precedent. If they have the same precedence, that's why I say left to right. So you go from the left to right. So now I will have 10 plus, now here I need to divide 3 by 4. How much 3 by 4? Can anyone divide 3 by 4? Give me how much? 75?
Yeah.
0.75.
Then multiply by 3. And now it will be simple now. Here I need to multiply it first. 0.75 multiplied by 3 plus 10. So I will just say 10 plus 2.25. And at the end, it will give me 12.25. And now if I log x, it will give me the same idea. You don't need to think about it. It's not something like creating a rocket. It's very simple. Click open. Voila, at 12.1, as you can see. So it's very simple. First you see, do I have parentheses? Well, as you can see now, I have parentheses here. So when I saved it, I have parentheses here. So what happened between the parentheses, it will happen first. Inside the parentheses, I have division and I have exponentiation. Which one has more precedent?
They are the same. So start from the left.
No, that's
No.
not multiplication, that's exponentiation,
Ah,
Adil. Exponentiation 2 asterisk, multiplication is 1. So this one will happen first. This one, it will be 4. And now here it's fixed, as you can see. This one now, 3 divided by 4, I think it's 1 point something. And then I will multiply it by 3, and then I will add it to 10, simply like that. Is the idea clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
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 It's not that difficult. Again, all you have to do, just remember this order here. Check, do I have parentheses? Yes, I do have parentheses here. So this one, it will happen first, no matter what. 3 divided by 4, it's 1 point something. So if I want to do this one as well, it will be first, I need to say 10 plus, now I need to say 3 divided by 4, it's 0.7, so it will be 0.75, and then multiply by 3, and voila, now here, what it will give me? Now I have a plus and I have multiplication. Which one has more precedent? Multiplication or addition?
Multiplication.
Of course, multiplication. So I will say 10 plus. Now I will multiply these two. It will give me 2.25. And then I will just add both of them and voila. It's not programming, that's math. It's quite simple. You just need to go through this order. And if they are the same order, so if I have multiplication, division, or modulus, they have the same order. So I need to start from the left to the right. The one come first to the left, it will be excluded first. Same for abstraction and addition. They have the same precedent. And if I have, for example, like that, if I have 10 minus 3 plus 10, something like that, how can I fix this one? Well, I will go first. Do I have parentheses? Do I have parentheses?
No.
Do I have exponentiation?
No.
Do I have multiplication, division, or modulus?
No.
I have additional multiplication, but both of them, they have the same precedence. That means I need to start from left to right. Which one come from first in the left? Which one come first?
Minus.
Subtraction.
So I will say 10 minus 3, it will be 7 plus 10, it will give me 17. And now if I log it, it should give me 17, as you can see. It's not that difficult, huh? It's really simple. Yes? I've already shared this one with you, so it should be simple. Okay. Let's say 10 exponentiation to 2. And here I will say plus and 1 plus 2. Can anyone analyze what will happen here? Yeah.
I will start with the parentheses.
Yes, because the parenthesis has the highest order indeed. 1 plus 2, how much?
3.
3. So I will have the same 10 exponentiation to 2 plus 3. And now, of course, I need to make it a comment. Okay, now now here I have the addition and I have exponentiation. Which one has more higher order or high precedent?
Exponential.
Exponentiation, that means 10 multiplied by 10, it's 100, right? So I will have
Yes.
100 plus 3, and then after that it will be 103. And if I log it, it's 103. Is it simple now?
Mm.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not that difficult. Okay. Arithmetic operations finish, random numbers, and then din copy and shallow copy. Well, random numbers, we've seen random numbers. How can we get a random number? Can anyone
0 to
remind
1.
me? Yes. Const. How can I get a random number? Const.
With the method
Rand. What is the method?
random mat random.
Mass capital M dot random, and it
Math.
will give me a number here. If I log rand for random, and I go here now, it will give me this one. If I refresh, it will give me another number, as you can see. It will give me a random number between 0 and 1. 1 is not included. What if I want a different number? For example, I want a random number between 0 and 10. How can I do that? I can multiply it by 10.
10.
If I multiply by 10, that means I will have a number between 0 and 10, but I will never have 10. Why? Because mass.random never give me 1. I will never have 1. So the number here, it will be between 0 and 10, but 10 is not included. And now here, if I refresh, notice I have 8, refresh 4, refresh 7, 1, 3, 1, 5, blah, 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 0. As you can see, I can have all number 9 even, but I will never have 10. Clear? What if I want a random number between 0 and 100? Well, I can multiply it by 100. And voila. And now here, as you can see, I have 20, 18, 57, 0, 26, 45, 50, 75, and so on. But I will never have 100, as you know. Now, what if I want to get rid of this one, this part? Do I have any method which will get rid of this one? I can make it down.
Math floor.
Which one?
Floor. Math
Floor,
floor.
yes. So what I can do here, I can take all this one, cut it, put it inside mass dot floor, and voila. And I don't want that actually. I want 100. And voila. And now what mass dot floor is doing here, it will give me a number between 0 and 99. It will never give me 100. And as you can see. Cool. Okay, what if I want to have a number as included? What should I use? Should I use mass.floor or something else? We have another method, right? So I could have 99.5, for example, but I cannot have 100. But if I want 100, what should I do? Which method should I use?
Dot include.
No, not floor,
No.
another method.
It shouldn't be plus 1.
No, I have another method. We studied yesterday.
Ah,
If I
seal.
s-
Okay, seal.
Yes, seal, yes.
Okay.
If I use seal here, seal, what is going to do here, if I have 99.1, it will make it 100. Now, that means 100 is included as well. Now I have 16. And if I do it a lot of time, I may have 100 because it's random number. I can see I have 100 now. It was quick a little bit, but I had got 100. No, 97. Actually, I got 100, but it was so fast. 90. And if I go multiple time, I may have 100. Actually, I did have 100 now, but it was quite fast. Because simply it's sealed. See, I have 100 as well.
There was 100, yeah.
I know, but it was very quick. So as you can see, if I want to include the 100 as well, I can use seal. If I don't want to include the 100, I can use floor. So it's really depend on your needs. That's how we can get random number in JavaScript. Using mass.seal or mass.floor, depending what do you want, and then mass.random, and I can multiply by any number I want to. Is it
Samir,
quite clear?
Yeah, is it a better idea to use math.seal and have from 1 to 100, or math floor and after that add 1 plus 1? Because I saw the plus 1 solution, but I haven't seen with the math seal. So, or it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, it's just two different ways. For example, if you tell me now I'm going to get a sandwich, and let's say you have 3 ways to go. Well, you can go the first way, you can go the second way, you can go the third way, because the end point for you, it's just to buy a sandwich, right?
No,
So-
to eat a sandwich.
That's my point. Anyway, let's say you have a 3 restaurant, all of them are the same, they give you the same idea, it's the same sandwich. It doesn't matter if you go to the restaurant 1 or 2 or 3, they will give you your sandwich and you're gonna eat, and that's the most important thing, right? So
Okay.
it's the same. Clear?
Yeah.
Perfect. And that's how we get random number in JavaScript. What else do we have? Shallow and deep copies. So shallow and deep copy is quite simple, actually. It's not that biggie. Let's go here. Of course, you already know that we have arrays. So if I say, for example, const persons like that, persons with S. And let's do, for example, I will take it simple, just take a string. John, Doe, Jane, Doe, just names or persons, whatever you want to call it. Now, you need to understand first in your array, if you make a deep copy or shallow copy, shallow first, shallow copy, and then we have deep copy, of course, and deep copy. Now, first thing you need to understand is your array, or now we will see the object, is it 1 level or 2 level deeps or 3 level deeps or 4, or it doesn't matter. Is it 1 or more than 1? It doesn't matter. Is it one level deep here or more?
1.
Of course, 1. You don't need to think about it. So if I want to make a shallow copy, I just say const copy. It's equal. I need to use a spread operator. Of course, now I have an array, so I need to just do it this way. Dot, 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 and persons, as you can see. And now it will give me a copy of it. Simple. Well, how can I give deep copy? Well, deep copy, I need to use JSON.parse, JSON.stringify. You know this one already, but let me write it for you. Deep, actually, I need to say shallow copy here. It will be better. Shallow copy. And here, deep copy. So for deep copy, I need to use the syntax, which is JSON. JSON is JavaScript object notation. JSON.parse. Or parse here, just convert it to JavaScript object, and then I need to use JSON.stringify to make it string. JSON.stringify. And here I need to pass my array or my object persons. Of course, we use shallow copy if we have 1 level deep, 1 level deep. And we use a deep copy if we have more than 1 level deep. So more than 1 here, like that, more than 1. Should be like actually a little more than 1 level deep, like that, more than 1 level deep. You need to understand, I told you in matter of performance, of course, this one is much more performance comparing to the deep copy. Deep copy is slower and it takes a lot of memory, comparing, of course, to shallow copy. So first you need to know how many levels do you have. Of course, now, for example, if I change this one here and I make it objects like that, for example, And inside my object here, I can see, let's say I have name only. I still have one level, right? I still have one level. Yes, no? Because
Yes.
it's just an object here. So I have one level, I still can use this one. But if I have, for example, address, and I have city like that, now it's not one level, of course. It's more than one level because I have this first level, this is the second level. And I can just copy this one here as the address here, so like that. If now I use the shallow copy, it will not be a good idea because if I make a copy of this one, I modify this one or the copies, they will affect each other. Do you know what I'm saying, or do you want me to show you on the console? Hello?
You can show.
Fine. So shallow copy and here, let's go to shallow copy, for example. And let's say I make a shallow copy here. Now what I want to do, I want to change the original one, and I will see if the shallow copy is being changed or not. How can I change the original one? Well, I can just say person bracket 0 because I want to access the first object dot name. If I change the name, of course, is the first level, it will not be affected. But if I change the address, now I have New York, and I'm trying to change this New York to Brussels. Let's see. Now, of course, because if this copy, we are doing the copies, why? Because we want to avoid side effect, right? And now here, because my array here, it has an object with 2 level deep, shallow copy is simply, it will change both of them. So there will be side effect after this one. Now, if I log both of them, so let's log. Let's just log the person, just the person I want. All my array. And if I log the copy as well, so log what we call as a shallow copy like that. And I go here and notice, click on this one, click on the address, and address is giving me Brussels. That's the original one. Also the copy here, it's also giving me Brussels. That's not correct. It shouldn't be Brussels, right? It should be New York, right? Yes or not? The original one should be New York.
Yes.
Well, I changed the original one. Now the copy should be in New York because I make a copy of it before. But when I change one of them, the other is changed as well. So simply, that's not, I still have side effect here, and that's not a good idea. Why? Simply because I have 2 level deep object. I have an object inside an object, so I have 2 level. That's the first level here, and that's the second level here. So I cannot use shallow copy. I need to use deep copy. And if I use deep copy, and let's do the same here and use deep copy. Let me take this one, cut this one, and just put it here, and I will log the deep copy as well. Deep copy. Voila. So the first one is the original. Let's see the original one. The original, of course, it will change because I have shallow copy. Now, if I go to this one, but it's already changed. I need to modify. Where is it? Where is it? I need to remove this one for now. Now I'm modifying the original one, and then I'm making a copy. So that's not gonna work. I need to make a copy and then modify the original one. And actually now I can uncomment this one. It is fine. Because I'm making my copy first, the shallow copy and the deep copy, and then I'm changing the original one, and then I'm logging all of those. So let's go to that's the original one, that's the shallow copy, that's the deep copy. Refresh, and remember, I'm just changing the city. That's the original one. So the original one, as you can see, I have a Brussels. And as a shallow copy, I have a Brussels. And the deep copy, I have New York, as you can see. So as you can see, the deep copy, there's no side effect, but the shallow copy, there is side effect. It's changing. Why? Because simply my data here is 2 level deep, is not 1 level deep. And when it's more than 1 level deep, I need to use deep copy, simply like that. Is the idea clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
There is a small note I need to give you here in JSON.parse and JSON.stringify. Now, JSON.parse or JSON.stringify, what it's doing here, JSON.parse. So what JSON.parse is doing, it's used to convert the string into JavaScript object. I've already told you this one. Let me complete it.
With S, parse.
Sorry,
With S, parse.
parse, yeah. With S, where is it? Parse, like that. So JSON.parse, we use it to convert a string or JSON string into JavaScript object. And of course, we have also .stringify. We use it to convert the object into a JSON string. You need to understand when JavaScript convert a JavaScript object is a bit different than. So there is similarity between JSON. By the way, package.json, that's JSON. That's JSON. So as you can see, we have key value. Key value, it's very similar to the object in JavaScript, as you can see, but there are small differences. The first difference here, if you have any function inside your data, it will be lost. Because here, JSON does not understand what is function. It does not understand what is undefined. So what type of data JSON recognize? So JSON recognize this type of data. Numbers like that. Strings, Boolean, arrays, object, and null. Only recognize those. That's mean inside your JavaScript object, of course, can recognize everything, as you know. But JSON, which is JavaScript object notation, as you can see, this one, we use JSON to transfer data between the front end and the back end. And you need to know that JSON cannot, it's similar to JavaScript object. There's two differences between them. The first difference is everything should be surrounded by double quote. Single quote is not accepted. In JavaScript object, you can use single quote or double quote. It's fine. But in JSON, you all the time use double quote. If I use single quote, notice what will happen. It will give me an error. Let me see, you see quote, it will just directly give me an error. Why? Property must be double quoted. So that's not allowed in JSON. Okay, that's the first difference. The second difference is JSON only recognize not all data type in JavaScript, some of them. So it recognizes the numbers, the strings, the Boolean, the arrays, the objects, the null. It does not recognize function. It does not recognize undefined. So if you have any function or undefined in your data, it will be lost. Is the idea clear or not? But most of the time when you use JSON.parse, we use it only with data. So we will not have function and we will not have undefined. So you should not be worried about that. But it's just a small note here. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. And of course, you can read more about JSON. It's simple. It's just JavaScript object notation. We study it a lot in the backend. And we study it all the time, actually. This is JSON. This is JSON. If I type, for example, JSON, which is JavaScript object notation, here it gives you the parse. What's the difference between JSON parse and so if you go here and read these articles, it will just tell you simply there is some stuff here it does not recognize. JSON, let's say JSON data type. JSON data types. So if you click on JSON data type, as you can see, it gives you string, number, Boolean, null, object, arrays. So it does not recognize function and it does not recognize undefined. You can go to TW3 here, and it will show you that it recognizes only those. So it does not recognize function. It does not recognize undefined, okay? It doesn't know what they are, so it will ignore them. It's just like they did not exist. That's it. Other than that, they are the same. Of course, don't forget you need to use double quote. That should be clear, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Now util function. To understand really util function, that's the last one, so let me delete this one. So what the hell are util function? Let's say in my index.html, I'm gonna add two input. And these two input, let's say I will add a number and then I will add a number. And when I click on this one, it will, let's say, add them together, for example. Or it will multiply them, or it will do something, for example. So let's try to do this one in JavaScript. I don't know, I know you didn't study the DOM, but it will be simple in React. It will not be that difficult. So let's build, and so I need an input for the first number, and the input could be type number, or I can make it type text if I want to. It's totally up to you. I will make it type number like that. Number. Of course, I need an ID. Why? Because I need to select it in JavaScript. So I will give it an ID num1. Num1, for example. I need another one for the second number. So I can just copy it. And I just say num2, for example. Because I want to add second two numbers. And then I need a button, right? Button. And the button here, I will just say click me, for example. This is HTML. It shouldn't be difficult. And here in the HTML, what do I need to do? What's the type here? So type button. I want to be type button. Of course, I need to give it an ID as well. So let's give it an ID. BTN. BTN. So now if I go to my live server here, as you can see, I have two input here. Of course, it just gives me numbers. It's only allow me to give number because the type is number. It does not allow me to type string because I just want to add them or multiply them or something like that. I just want number. So number and number here. And now when I click on this button, I want to add both of them or multiply both of them if I want to, for example. Or instead of click me, maybe I can just add plus here. Voila, should be simple now. Okay, so to explain util function, I need to show you a little bit how can we do that practically in JavaScript. So first, I need to select my element in JavaScript. Why? Because if I don't select my element, I cannot get the value of this input. I cannot get the value of this input. And I cannot tell JavaScript, when someone click on this button, I want you to do that. So the only way it will be, I need to select this element. So to select this element, let me put my HTML here. You still can hear me, right?
Yes.
Good. The first step, I need to select my DOM. That's what we call DOM elements, like that. So how many DOM elements I need to select here? 1, 2, 3, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So I will get the first number from the first input, which has ID num1. I will get the second input, which is a number from the second input, which has an ID num2. And I will get my button here. How? Just by using also this ID, which is called BTN. So let me select 3 of them. So, but how can I select an element in JavaScript? Well, I need to use a document. And you will ask me, what is the document? Okay. So notice what will happen when I type document here. When I type document, what's happening? Can you see the other side here? What is happening when I type document?
It selects all text, all the page.
All the page. So the document is simply the current page. That's current active page. So in document here, document is an object. In document, we have a lot of method. One of them is just get element by ID. So my document, so I'm telling page, I want you to go and select the element which has this ID. And of course, it will just go to my element here, and it will look here in the body. What element do I have with this ID? And it will give me this element. Simple. Yes, no.
Yes,
So the
yes.
document is
Yes.
my page here. So I can use, for example, document
Wait.
dot get element by ID. And what's the element, first element I want to get? What is this ID?
Num1.
Num1.
Num1, but I need to pass it in a string, num1 like that. So I select my first element, well, that's good. I want to select the second element. Same idea, but I will pass the ID of the second element, which is num2. I want to select my button, same idea. Document.get element by ID. And what is the ID of my button? It's BTN, right? It's not add. So I'll just copy. I'm gonna remove this one. Voila. Okay, now what does this method return? Can anyone tell me? If I copy this one here and I go to my console like that, and I put it like that, actually I already have it. So what was the first ID? It was num1, right?
Yes.
Num1. And now if I pass num1, notice what it will return. It return me my element, as you can see. The input type number and the ID num1. So because it returned me my element, I can save it in a variable, right? Can I save it or not?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
let's save it in. So here I will save it in a variable, so I can use const num1, for example. I will use the same name. And here it will return me the second input, so I can say const num2. And here it will return me my button, right? So I can say const btn, it's equal, voila, now I'm selecting my, I have selected my 3 element. So I've selected the num1, which will be the input, which will give me the value of the first number. I've selected the input 2, and I select my button. And all of them by using one method, which is called getElementById. Of course, the document mean my page. All the time we use the document, okay? In JavaScript, I told you we have Windows, which is the biggest object. Also, we have the document, which is the biggest object in the DOM. So it's my page, my current page. Of course, you can log the document if you want to. If I say document like that, notice it will give me, if I click expand it, so it will give me all my DOM element, everything, as you can see. It give me all my DOM element, everything in the HTML, as you can see. Okay, good. I'm selecting my elements, that's fine. But what do I want now? I want the value of this first input, but how can I get the value? How can I get the value of the first num1?
Dot value.
Yes, indeed. Now, if I go here, for example, that's the first element, and I put 10, and now I go again, and I use one num1, say dot value, and click on this one, it gives me 10, as you can see. Well, if I change it to 25, and I go again, give me again the value, it's give me 25. So it's give me the value actually, which is nice. So my element, because it returned me my element to select, get the value here inside it, I can just say dot value. And that's simple. So now, if I want to get the value here, I will make it simple, of course. And because I want only the value, I can just say dot. And as you can see, your VS Code is smart. Dot value. Voila. And here I want dot value as well.
Samir, what's the difference between a dot value and dot inner HTML?
The value, it will give you what's the value inside. The inner HTML, it will give you what element inside. So the value, we use it when we have something. Now the input here, it has a value. Let's try it. Instead of the value, I can just do dot inner HTML. So inner HTML, it will give me nothing. Why? Well, if I go to my input, do I have any element inside my element here? Do I have
No.
any element inside it? No.
No.
If I go to the body and I say inner HTML, it will give me all these elements. So let's go here and change it.
So the
And
inner
you-
HTML of the button will be plus?
Not the button, no.
No.
It will give you what DOM element inside. If I say body, and I say dot inner HTML, see what, that's the inner HTML. It will give me what element I have, see? Input type number, that's inside the body. Input type number, ID num2. It give me what DOM element inside. So the inner HTML, for example, for the body, what is inside the body? What DOM element inside the body? We have input, button, script. Those DOM element inside the body. But if I came here and I say dot inner HTML, there is no element inside the input, right? Do I have any element inside the input? Of course not. So it will give me nothing, an empty string. So don't worry about it. I'll explain it later when we study the DOM anyway.
Okay.
So just know that we have value. My objective here, I'm just trying to explain as a util function for you. So don't worry about the DOM. Now, what do I want to do? Well, what I want to do when someone click on the button, I want something to happen, but how can I do that in JavaScript? Well, I can just say btn dot add event listener. Event listener, that means I want my code or I want my DOM element to listen to whatever the user do, to anything the user do. So I say button dot add event listener. Event listener take two parameters. The first parameter, it will be the event. What do I want to look? Do I want to listen to, for example, double click or mouse hover or stuff like that? For me, I want when the user click. Also, don't worry about that. I'll explain them in detail. And the second parameter is function. Don't worry about that because we didn't study the DOM. I explained it on Monday. Now, what do I want when the user click on the button? For now, I just want to log hi, just to make sure it's working. Hello, no, just num1 and num2. It's fine. So as you can see, if I go here, I refresh, and I put like now here, num1 and num2. Now, if I click on the button, and it does not log num1 and num2 for me, why? What's going on?
Event prevent default. We need to.
No, actually, because the type of the button, it's, is it refreshing? Are you sure?
I think so.
Let's see. No,
No.
it's not no, it's not refreshing. The idea, Diniando, is not like that. The idea, I shouldn't put the value here. I should put the value at the time here. So what I need to do here, I say, for example, value, or I can just say num1 value, which will be equal to pass int num1 dot value. So it will take like that. And here num2 value, it's equal to parse int. Can anyone tell me why I'm using parse int or number? Why I'm using number?
Because they have numbers.
Converting it to numbers.
To read the
Indeed.
numbers.
Indeed. And now if I click on it, now what the hell is going on? Why is it not giving me? btn.
You can use event target value.
It shouldn't be console log somewhere.
Yes, actually it should be console. Am I not logging them? No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You can just tell me you are not logging them. And now here, if I log both of them, now it will work. Finally. Okay. And voila, click, and I have 8 here. So why 8? It shouldn't give me 8, actually. I'm plussing them. I don't want to plus them. I want just to show both of them. 4, come on, 8, 2, click, and now it's giving me 8 and 2. That's what I want to. So the reason why it's not giving me the value, Diniando, because I shouldn't put the value here. I should get the value at the time when the user click on it, then I need to get the value, because the value of the element is not a constant number, it changes. You get my point?
Yeah,
so I
but
should say num1
getting
dot value.
from event also, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, getting value from event target value.
Yes, I can use that as well. Yes, I can get it from the event, but I don't want to make it complex for now. So as you can see, I have num1 dot value. I just put it inside this function, and I'm converting it to number. I have both value, and now here I want to add both of them. Let's say I want to add both of them for now. I just log like that, and num1 plus num2, and that's what I want to. And now here, if I try two numbers, this one and this one should give me 9, and it does give me 9. Now, what is util function? Now here is another type of function. I don't want to explain it now. So what is util function? So a util function is a function which can take data and return data. Now, can I modify, can I refactor this code here? Instead of adding all this value, can I pass two value? And I create a function which take two value, add them and return them. Can I do that?
Yes.
How? Can you tell me what should I name it? Function? I can say const
Add function.
add, it's equal to
Yeah.
num1
One, two.
num2
Two.
arrow function.
And here it will return me what? Num1 plus num2. It just make it an arrow function one line. Now this one is util function. Why? Because it take numbers, as you can see, and it return numbers here. Okay, because it's an arrow function, I make it one line. I don't have to add return here, I told you. Well, instead of writing this value like that, all of that, all I have to do now, I can just use this function here. I can add two number here, so I can just add, click, num1 plus num2. What this function will return? It will return me the sum, right? So I can save it in a variable, const sum. Voila. And now I can log sum. Voila. And now here, if I go here, it will be the same idea exactly. Voila. And it's give me 44. Actually, that's bad. Why it's give me 44? I have a bug here. Am I converting it to a number? No. So I should actually convert them to a number here. What is my number? Number. And I can pass the value like that. And here I need to convert it to a number as well. And pass this one like that. Voila. So what is going on here? Why did I do this stuff here?
Because the
Plus-
value returns always the string.
Yeah.
No, it's 10 now. I separate this function because now I have a function, and this function I can use it in any place I want to. Anytime I want to add two numbers, I can use this function, and that's util function. Before, if you remember, before I was not able to use this function. Why? Because I did everything inside here. So this function was not useful for me. This function was not useful at all. I didn't need it. And that's mean every time I want, let's say now here I'm adding two numbers. But what if I want to add two numbers, let's say 300 times in my website? Should I do all of that like that? No. I can just create a function, and this function, it will take these two numbers, add them, and give me the value, the return of the sum. So instead of doing it this way, the ugly way, I can simply create a util function or logical function, as I told you. And now this util function here, as you can see, if we go back, where's my util function? Thank you. I can just say const add. I will write my util function again. Const add, it's equal to num1, comma num2. And of course, it will return me num1 plus num2. Voila, that's my util function. And here I can take my bottom add event listener. I'm just repeating what written in the code. And here, instead of doing all of that, I can just say const sum. It's equal, and now I can call my function here, and I pass my two numbers. Of course, I don't have the two number. I can create them if I want to. I can say const num1. It will be equal to number like that. And no, I already have it, so it will be num1 dot value. Voila. And I can do the same for num2. But what is the advantage? Can anyone tell me what's the advantage? What is the advantage of separating this code using this function? So now I'm using this function to add two numbers. That's what we call a util function. Can anyone tell me? I mean, before I was adding them, both of them here. Now I have a function to do so. This function take two numbers, data, and return data. That means that's util function. That's okay. I have my util function, but I could just add them here. Can anyone tell me what's the difference now?
Is there reusability? You can
Yes.
reuse it.
Now, this function here, I can put it in its own file. And if I need to add two numbers in million place in my website, I can use the same function again and again and again. And
So
that's
you
the
mean
idea.
export import only
Yes,
for
of
this
course.
function? Okay.
Yes, I will put this one inside its own file. I will export it, and in any place I can import it and use it. And voila, that's util function. So a util function is logical function just deal with data, manipulate data only, not DOM, only data. And of course, why do I have util function? Because the reusability. Now I have this function. If I want to add two number million time in my website, I can use the same function. I don't have to write the function again and again and again and again. Because if I do so, I will end up with a lot of code and it will be ugly code. The website at the end, it will not, you need to throw it. It will not be maintainable. The idea of util function is, now I have my function. Well, any place I need it, now I can use it. And it's not related to the DOM element. It's just take two number and add them and voila. So now here, anytime I need to add two number, I can use this function. Did you get the idea of util function? Yes, no. And just to make it complete, I'm gonna now create a folder called utils, or sometimes we call it logic actually, utils like that. And inside util, I will create my function, which is called add.js like that. And now I'm gonna take my function from here. I don't need it from here. I'm gonna cut it, put it inside its own file, click, and now I can export it. So let's export it. Export default. I will export it default add. Well, that's nice. Now here I need to import it here because I need to use it here, right? Yes, no? So I can go to the top, and now because it's a default export, I can say import add, and VS Code will help me. See, VS Code is smart. Click, it just will be in utils.js, and all I have to do just add .js. And voila, it's still working. And now here, if I go here, refresh, cannot use import statement outside of module. Of course, what it's telling me, it's telling me in your index.html here, it's not gonna work. So what do I need to fix this problem?
Add module.
Type module.
Type module. And now the problem should be fixed. Click and voila, it's fixed. And now here, if I go here and I go here, add cannot access before initialization. Let's see. Num1.
Because on the line 4 and 5, you have value, and dot value. You don't need it. Line 4 and 5?
You are right. You are right. I'm duplicating them. It shouldn't be value here. I need to remove this one and I need to remove this one. I need to access the value at the point the user click on the button. That's why I need to do it this way. Now, if I try it again, click. This add any number I want to, even if it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Click. I still don't have this one. Yeah, okay. The problem is I named this one num1 and this one num1. You get the point? Because we have the same name of the variable. So I actually I shouldn't name it num1. I should name it num1 value. And I should name 2 value. I have the same variable. That's the reason why. Let's pass num1 value and let's pass num2 value. And now it will work. Clicking. Refresh. Click. Click. And voila, 12. But what is the advantage now? Okay, now the advantage, if I want this function in million place, I can just import it and use it. Voila, that's util function. So the idea of the util function is the reusability. I can just write the function one time, only one time, and I can reuse it million times if I want to. And I can even make it better, by the way. I can make my function a little bit better. How? Well, can anyone tell me how can I make my function a little bit better?
You make it one line?
No. What if the num are not numbers? By mistake, a user. So for here, instead of converting to the number, I don't want that actually. What I want here, I just want to pass the stringy number here, pass the string, and pass the string here. I don't want to convert it to a number. What if my function is able to convert it to a number? Is it possible? So I want to pass 2 value, and if they are string, I want my function to convert them. Is it possible?
Yes.
Of course. So I can make my function a little bit better. And in order to do so, I can just say return, as you can see, return inside my function here, because the function, I don't want to repeat it again and again. I can say number, num1 plus num2, and voila. And in here, in this example, as you can see, I don't need to convert anything to a number. Even if I pass string, because those are string, it will work again. Because inside my function, I'm dealing with this case. Let's see here, 5 and 8 should give me 13, I think. And voila, 13. And now I can use this function in many places if I want to. It's fine. And that's what we call util function. So a util function is a function, a reusable function. We can use it multiple times. And also it's a function which take data and return data. Here it return data for me. Remember the data in JavaScript, they are string, number, Boolean, null, undefined, object, array. So as long as they are taking one of them and return one of them, that's good for me. It's util function. And the second advantage, I can test my add function, by the way. I can now create, we already know how to test, so I can say add.test.js, and now I can write some test for my util function, because we are testing we learn how to test our util or logical function, right? So now you can write some test for them. Voila. So that's simply util function. So a util function deal with only data, and by data, I mean object, array, data type in JavaScript. It does not deal with the DOM. It's only deal with the data, take data, do some calculation, and return data. We should separate them inside a folder called util. We should write a test for them because we can test our logical or util function. And after that, whenever in any file I want this function, I'm exporting it, I can just import it and use it. Simple. Is it clear now?
Yes.
For everyone? Of course, we're going to repeat that. Don't worry. In separation of concern, I'm going to repeat that 1,000,000 times. Because in each project, we need to have util function or logical function. We need to have component functions, and we need to have listeners, and we need to have handler. So for example, that's what we call listener, and that's this function, we call it handler. But don't worry about it for now. And then we have util, and then after that, we have component function. But I will explain in detail in separation of concern. For now, should be enough. Do you understand util function?
Samir, can I ask you a question regarding this task?
Yes, of course.
So I will share my screen. Okay, can you stop?
Yes. Let me stop sharing my. Do you want me to still record or stop recording?
Sorry, you're recording. So
Thank you. So to recap again, isn't recording. As you can see, I have 3 functions. A function called hello. What this function is doing, just it will log from hello, and it will call another function which is called hello again. This hello again, it will log from hello again, and it will call another function which is called by now, and this one it will just log from by now. So now we will see what is the call stack. Of course, I told you theoretically, when I execute the function, this one will be the first function I'm executing it because I'm executing this function, as you can see. So when what will happen here, when my code reach for this function, it will go here, and at line 11, it will just log this line as a console. Then it will call this function, which is called hello again. So it will go at line 6. It will log this one to the console, then it will try to call the function which is by now. So it will go to line 2. It will log this one, and then after that, it will return back to this one here. Then it will be back to this one here, and it will be exit. So what will happen is the first step, when I call this function, this one, it will be added to the stack. And then because I'm calling another function, which is hello again, it will be added at the top of hello, also in the call stack. And then inside hello again, then by now, we call by now will be added at the top of the stack. The concept I told you, last in, first out, the last one being added to the stack, it was this function. So it will log this one to the console, and it will remove it from the stack. Then it will come to this one, and it will just remove it from the stack. It come to this one and remove it from the stack, and voila. So let's see line by line and see what is going on in the stack. Notice, I told you anonymous function. JavaScript is just wrap your code inside a function and try to execute it. That's the reason why we have anonymous. So it's you don't need to worry about this anonymous. JavaScript is doing it. So let's click. And now, as you can see, it will go inside my function, which is called hello. And notice what happened is a stack. What happened in the call stack? Can anyone explain what happened in the stack or the call stack? I explained yesterday, guys.
Yeah, it read the function hello.
The function hello has been added to the call stack. Okay, so now what is going to do? It will just look from hello into the console. So let's execute it. Voila. And now because I'm calling another function which is called hello again, it will just go to line 6 and it will add this hello again to the call stack at the top of hello. So let's click. And as you can see, I have hello again, as you can see, at the top of hello. So this one has been added to the call stack. That's fine. Now here, what it's going to do now, it will execute line 6, which is look from hello again. Click. And now it will call another function, which is called by now. Click. And now, as you can see, it add by now at the top of the stack. So which the function is being added to the stack as the last? Of course, it will be the one at the top, which is by now. So what will happen here in by now? It will just log this one to the console, and then it will remove it from. It will remove it from what?
From the call stack.
Stack.
Call stack.
Of
From the
course,
call
because the
stack.
function is finished. If the function is finished being executed, now JavaScript it will remove it from the call stack. So notice, it's removed from the call stack. It come to hello again, and it will remove it also from the call stack. And then I have hello. Hello is also finished. It will remove it from the call stack, and voila. Is the idea clear? It's super simple, actually.
Yes.
Again, let's do it again a little bit quickly. And here now, this is very interesting in debugging. Imagine now my functions are very simple, but imagine now you have this function in one file, this function in another file, this function in another file, and you don't know which function is calling this function. It's in debugging, sometimes it's really annoying. You need to go and search to find which function is calling it. If you understand the call stack in just one click, it will take me to my function. Here, if I click on this one, directly it will take me to the function calling this function, and voila. So it's really make it easy in debugging. Is the idea clear? Yes, no.
Yes.
Of course, the last function being added to the stack all the time, it will be at the top. So as you can see, when my code is being executed, it will add hello, then add hello again, then add by now at the top of it. Then now by now, it will be the first one. It will remove from the call stack. And if I go my code now, it will be the first one removed. So notice the first one is removed. Then hello again, it will be removed. Then hello, it will be removed, and voila. And now it should be clear 100% if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So just, it's about time. Let's actually take a break now. After we come from the break, I want you to finish your check-in directly, and then you can go to your exercise and work with them. And of course, if you have a question, you can let me know. And yeah, that's it.